Hey guys, Dave with Moneyology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. Today is October 26, 2019, and this is the Uranium Sector Review Public Edition. We're going to take a look at the URA ETF from monthly, weekly, daily, and hourly perspectives to give us a better sense of where we've been, where we are, and where we're likely headed. Before I go into that, I want to share an important announcement that I think you'll find very interesting. I restarted my Patreon campaign, and in that Patreon campaign, which you'll see a link in the show notes, both on moneyology.com as well as in the YouTube video, is the ability to get access to my videos in the uranium sector for $10 a month. So all the premium videos on a monthly basis for $10 a month. This will go also for there will be an option for precious metals videos for $10 a month, as well as the ability for $1 a week, only $1 a week, to get one stock pick from my analysis emailed to you with a multi time frame analysis, monthly, weekly, daily, and hourly, for one stock pick a week for just $1 a month. So take a look at that. I appreciate your support, and I hope that this Patreon campaign will allow you to get access to my videos for less than the $37 a month premium subscription currently available for moneyology.com. Anyway, guys, so let's take a look at URA. And before we do that, I just want to go through the various different names that are on my watch list that we'll cover in the premium video momentarily. But here we go. You see, Azarga ended up close to 18% on Friday, and it wasn't on heavy volume. Really, the most important thing when I look at these rapid moves in uranium is the volume. If the volume is not outside of the normal, then it's really just one buyer or one seller buying in or getting out. But it's what I will point out is that there is a lot more volatility of late in the uranium space. So that's something very interesting. Clearly, some folks getting out and at such low prices, a lot of folks getting in. And we'll go through what I believe is the one name, one stock that is best positioned right now, both from a technical perspective and then just fundamentally. I think it's fundamentally well positioned to capture uranium upside, and at the same time, it's just the technicals on multi time frames are setting up really nicely. Okay, so now without further ado, URA. So here's the URA monthly chart. Month is not yet over, so we've got a couple more days in the month. But so far, the month we are up, barely up, but still up 0.09%. And it's so far created two positive monthly closes. Now, we're not closed yet, but if we close positive, that would be the case. You see here where we've bounced so far off the 38 RSI. It's really the level that we began a rally back in 2017 over here from. So the fact that we bounce here is not a surprise. But obviously, before uranium finally, you can say, has broken out, this particular downtrend has to break. And it hasn't broken yet, so you can't say uranium has broken out. Obviously, no one's saying that right now. But this monthly time frame is very, very important for momentum as well as trend following investors. I will say that now you've got 3 straight months of downtrend on PPO, which is a momentum oscillator. However, notice it's starting to curl up right now. So we might get what we need in terms of a momentum change to the upside. So here's the weekly chart. This is the same time frame that we have here from 2017 over here. So this is what we're looking at right now. And notice how close we are to this downtrend breakout. In theory, we broke out of the first downtrend back in, I'd say, November of 2018. And then we back tested it and we broke down, frankly, back in August. You saw this was a breakdown, potentially a fake breakdown, which once recovered is very bullish. And that's what we had here back in September. It was a breakdown and then breakout. And now we're consolidating just below the 50 RSI level and just below that momentum trend line. If we can break out to the upside, that likely coincides with the breakout of this down move around 1150 and likely coincides with the monthly breakout as well. So it hasn't happened yet, but guys, we're so close. And notice PPO is building right now. 4-5 consecutive weeks in the positive territory. It takes time, but now we are consolidating right at that 13-week moving average of 1104. and the 26 EMA is just below that, just above that 1127. So all it takes is one week, guys, and then you've got a breakout. But it hasn't happened yet, so stay tuned. Here's a daily uranium ETF, and this this one right now is consolidating right around its 50 EMA, around 1098. So you see where that is. That's the blue line here. It's also consolidating right at that 50 RSI level, which is very, very important to hold. And you see PPO has basically uh, been consolidating around the zero level. So all in all, I think it's a very healthy and constructive consolidation after the pullback that we had back in July. This was the fake breakdown that we saw earlier, and here we are, in my opinion, setting up for that move above 1130, and then eventually above this all too important 200-day moving average around 1152, which coincides with those downtrends that we saw here and here on the monthly. So uranium is very close, but it hasn't happened yet. Here's the hourly chart. Similar. Now you've got the 200-hour moving average serving as support around that, I'd say, 1098 level, and you've got the 50-hour moving average serving as resistance. So we're just kind of squeezing here right now, consolidating. But notice that momentum is right around that 50 level, going up and down. Obviously, a short-term time frame doesn't mean all that much, but it gives you a sense of where over the last, I'd say, half a month, momentum has been heading. And look at this. PPO has been curling higher and higher and higher, and just last week, frankly, on Friday, did we break above zero? And I think that that's a important first step. Now, does that mean that we're gonna break out right away? No, but I'm just looking for evidence, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, on the other hand, Uranium Participation Corp. This is the best available, at least on stock charts, the best available tracker for the price of uranium. Now, that one kind of broke down last week, or last couple of weeks, and you see that we had a sell off here, and look, someone wanted to get out, and that's just the way it works. But once we broke below that trend line over here around the 50 RSI, that was what happened right around here. So we broke down, but we had our first positive price change on Friday. And also that coincides with that 31 level. That's a very important level to hold from a Fibonacci perspective. So let's see what happens. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days of down moves on the oscillator. Perhaps that tide is turning. And frankly, despite this, uranium overall, obviously, there's been a lot of volatility, but all in all, the stocks have not moved to the downside despite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days prior to Friday of down moves in the price of uranium. So that's a positive sign, in my opinion. Not a sign that things are turning, but it's certainly a positive sign that perhaps the uranium sector has bottomed. Here's the weekly chart of the same ETF and or rather stock. And notice again, it broke down here and it broke down below the 38 level. But at the same time, it's just at that bottom trend line right now. So it needs to turn around. If it breaks this level, then perhaps it invalidates this cup and handle. Don't think it's going to break down, but right now it is acting weak. And here's the monthly perspective. Notice you've got the 9 and 18-month moving averages serving as resistance here right above. And until it breaks that level, it's technically in a downtrend. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight months that it's been in negative territory after that initial move back in end of 2017. You also see this downtrend in momentum, uptrend in momentum that has been building, has broken to the downside. But despite all of this, guys, as I said earlier, the stocks in the sector have not been breaking to new lows. And I think that's a positive development. We'll see if that continues. Nobody knows. Perhaps it's going to backtest all the way down to this level here. And so long as it holds this level, it's still in an uptrend. And we'll just keep tracking this and see how things go in uranium. There are a lot of catalysts coming up. In end of October, we've got a couple of conferences in November as well. And obviously, you've got the working group report that's scheduled for release in the first third of the month. So that's it for the public edition. And if you want to have access to the premium, you can either become a premium subscriber through moneyology.com or through the Patreon link, which will allow you to get access to individual videos for a much lower cost. So I appreciate all the support, and have yourself a great week.